So we're in Camilla, Georgia with a face and name that's familiar. That's Chase Shiver. We're here at RLK Services. Chase, give us a rundown of what you do here.
We pretty much manufacture stainless accessories for trucks, mainly specializing in visors, breather panels, mud flat weights, different various light panels. We can do some one-off stuff, but we have our own product line that we mainly focus on and supply all over the U.S., even into other countries.
What's unique to you in what you make, and then how did you even get into making what you make?
Well, to start with how we got into it, I built an International years ago, and nobody made cool parts for them. Some parts were available, but for the most part, nothing like Peterbilt's or Kenworth's. So I fabbed everything myself, and then my buddies would call me and say, "Hey, can you build something for my truck?" And then that went to their buddy calling me, and then their buddy's buddy calling me, and it basically snowballed into what it is now. This is a small operation. Everything's handmade, and we put a lot of care and quality into it. I physically test fit every visor that goes out the door. So it's physically test fit on a cab before it's boxed up and goes out. So that guarantees, a proper fit. We put into extra care and use heavier gauge materials and nicer stuff. Therefore, the end product is a lot better.
So a couple years ago at a show, I seen what looked like a fabulous looking truck, and I think you're responsible for it. So why don't you tell me what you did with that truck and who it belonged to?
That truck belonged to Truett Noah side of Equipment Express out in Caldwell, Texas, and I actually worked out there for a little over a year building trucks for him. And then I moved back home to focus, on my personal business, starting out for myself. That was the first truck that I built here in this shop. And it was a rollover. It had been laid over on its passenger side, and it was completely stripped down, new bump, reskinned, whole nine. So it was basically just about a frame-up build. And we built that whole truck here in-house, and then delivered it out there to Super Rigs in San Antonio, and it ended up making the calendar. So we were pretty proud of that. Unfortunately, with my parts getting in such demand like they are now, we don't do full builds anymore, just because just don't have the manpower. It's stuff that I still like doing it and interested in it. It's just business-wise, just don't have time for it.
How would somebody go about getting in touch with you and find or looking at some of the products that you offer?
We do have a website. It's RLKservices.com, and that's the best. It's basically an online catalog. So to look at all the various different things we make, that's the best option for looking at it, because you can find it all in one spot. There's a contact form on there, or you can call us. Usually calling is best. We stay pretty busy, so it's hard to keep up with messages.
So tell me about what you do for Chris Kikohan.
Chris is a good buddy of mine. When he started in the race circuit, I jumped on with him as far as told him I'd help him out, kind of a sponsorship deal. But anything he needs, when I'm available to help him, we were here till 1 o'clock in the morning last night swapping out tires and wheels, and his trucks have been here a month or two, and we've done some repairs on them and try and help out any way we can to keep the trucks on the track.
Chase, we found ourselves out here on the highway. Why don't you go ahead and tell me how you acquired this truck and all the details about it?
Well, I had a cab over Freightliner that I was building and never had time to really work on it or finish it. And this truck popped up, and I've always been an international guy. Grew up around internationals, and the guy happened to be a Freightliner fan, so we struck up a deal, and we ended up swapping even. And it's a 1984 International 4300. It's got an A model cab with a 13 feet.
So what do you like about the Internationals?
I guess it's the whole heritage of it. My dad's been a truck driver his whole life, and growing up, that's what I was always around. He's always had Internationals, and I guess they just got a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah, 10-4. We were talking a little bit earlier there at your shop, and we went over there to a location in Cordele, Georgia, and we got to see you tool around in some of the race trucks owned by Chris Kiekelhan, the Sundance racing team there. Tell me about what it was like to tool around in one of those race trucks.
They're pretty fun. It's completely different than what you think about, when it comes to big trucks. They got big horsepower. They'll spin around, as you saw, with donuts, and you can have a ball with them. It's interesting driving one because with them being so big, they're pretty awkward, as far as handling goes.
Now, one of the other things that I didn't get to ask you was a bit about your trucking history. So why don't you tell us how you found yourself in the seat of a truck?
Well, like I said, I grew up around it. My dad was a truck driver his whole life. He's always been an owner-operator. My granddad, he drove a truck. He hauled gas. My whole family on my dad's side of the family is just a trucking family, whether it be my uncle's a broker. I used to haul for him. All my cousins drive. All that kind of stuff. It's just what I was raised up on. A lot of guys say, it's not just a job. It's a lifestyle. So, I grew up in the lifestyle.
Roger that. I can understand that. When you did drive, tell me about one of the first trucks that you drove, and what did you haul along your career of driving?
Well, my first truck was 88 International, and we talked about it briefly whenever we were at the shop. It's what got me started in the custom truck world. But I bought it from my cousin and was going to build it as like a hobby play toy. And eventually, it was road ready to go, and I was a painter at a local body shop, and I'd gotten fed up with it. So one day I called my wife and I said, I think I'm going to quit. And she said it was up to me, so I quit and tagged a big truck and went trucking.
And what were some of the things that you hauled when along your career there?
I hauled mainly. I pulled a tank. I had a matching tank to match my truck, and I mainly hauled liquid fertilizer. Down there in the South, we run Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and the ag industry is pretty big down here. So I stayed full year round, either hauling liquid fertilizer or ag products.
Chris mentioned that you guys go back a ways. He even was joking about it, saying that you guys go back to the old MySpace days. So how did you end up meeting Chris? And give us a quick rundown there.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting story. We were friends back on MySpace, and shoot, I can't even remember that far back. But I know that's where we first, I guess you'd say, got in contact with each other, and it kind of spawned from there. He's got a sister truck to that cab over Freightliner that I used to have, and he called me one day. I actually found that truck and had posted it, and he contacted me about it and wanted to know if I could get some information for him, contact info, and he ended up buying that truck. And after that, we started, back and forth phone calls, text messages back and forth, and it just grew from there.
Oh, right on. Well, it's great to see that you have a good working relationship. Or actually, I take that back. It's great to see that you have a great friendship there with Chris. He's a good guy and does good stuff. Everyone enjoys seeing what he does there with the race trucks, and they enjoy seeing his other trucks that he has out there in the public eye. So we appreciate you. It's been nice visiting with you over the last couple of days, and we'll catch you another way. Of course, we'll keep our eye on you for all the products that you make there and you put out for the custom truck world. We'll be talking at you later.
10-4, bud. I appreciate it, and nice hanging out with you the last couple of days as well.